overcoming obstacles, you're fighting the wrong battle. If you're trying to overcome obstacles by working harder, planning more, or waiting until you feel ready, you're fighting the wrong battle. The inner battle isn't about capability, it's about identity. I've spent years coaching professionals, and the pattern is always the same. Your obstacles aren't external, they're internal scripts written by systems that needed you to stay small. Today, I'm breaking down the 3 psychological obstacles that keep high performers stuck, the identity shift that changes everything, and why your resistance is actually data telling you exactly what to do next. This isn't theory. One of these obstacles kept me paralyzed for 2 years until I learned what I'm about to show you. Here's what most people get wrong about obstacles. They think that the problem is the obstacle itself, the deadline, the competition, the algorithm, the lack of clients. And after working with professionals, making the leap from corporate to entrepreneurship, I can tell you the obstacles that you're focused on is almost never the real obstacle. The real obstacles are invisible. They're the stories you inherited, the identities you've outgrown and are still wearing, the fears that masquerade as logic. I had a client, 15 years in finance, brilliant strategist who spent 8 months building the perfect website before she ever talked to a single potential client. She thought that the obstacle was her website. And when we dug deeper, the real obstacle was her belief that she needed institutional backing to be credible. The website was just her way of recreating the corporate safety net. And the reason you can't overcome obstacles like this by working harder is because you're not supposed to overcome them. You're supposed to outgrow them. Let me show you exactly how. The first psychological obstacle is the competence trap. You've spent decades becoming excellent at what you do. Your value in the corporate world was tied to your ability to execute, to be reliable, to have the answers. So now, when you think about building your own business, your brain does what it's trained to do. It looks for the skills you're missing, the certification you don't have, the niche you haven't mastered, the tech you don't understand yet, and it tells you you're not ready. And here's the trap. Competence is infinite. There will always be something else to learn, another course to take, another expert to study. The competence trap keeps you in preparation mode forever because it confuses learning with becoming. I see this constantly. Brilliant professionals with 15 years of experience telling me they need another certification before they can start. One client had 3 master's degrees and told me she needed to get certified in 1 more methodology before she could start coaching. We did the math. She'd spent $47,000 on education in 2 years and made exactly $0 helping anyone. It wasn't about competence. It was about permission. And here's what's insidious about this trap. It feels productive. You're learning, you're growing, you're investing in yourself, and you're not building a business. You're building a resume for a job that doesn't exist. Here's the identity shift. You're not here to be the most qualified person in the room. You're here to be the person who helps. Your expertise is already enough. The obstacle isn't what you don't know. It's the belief that you need to know everything before you deserve to be seen. The day you accept that you're qualified enough to help someone who's 3 steps behind you, that's the day this obstacle loses its grip. The second psychological obstacle is the visibility paradox. You know, You need to put yourself out there. Post content, share your expertise, make offers. And every time you sit down to do it, something stops you. You overthink the caption, you rewrite the post 17 times, you talk yourself out of hitting publish. And you tell yourself it's because you want it to be good. You want it to be valuable. You want to get it right. And that's not what's really happening. What's really happening is this: your nervous system is treating your visibility like danger. For decades, your survival in corporate meant fitting in, not standing out too much, not making waves, being excellent within acceptable parameters. Playing politics, reading the room, knowing when to speak up and when to stay quiet. Your brain learned blend in equals safe. Stand out equals risk. So now, when you try to build a business that requires you to be visible, your nervous system freaks out. It throws up every excuse, every distraction, every reason why today isn't the day. The visibility paradox is this: the very thing you need to do to succeed is the thing your body has been trained to avoid. Here's what makes it worse. You're a high performer. So you interpret this resistance as a character flaw. I should be more disciplined. I should do it. And discipline doesn't work against biology. I remember sitting in my car in a parking lot, phone in hand, finger hovering over the post button. I'd written something vulnerable about my transition out of corporate, and I sat there for 20 minutes. My heart was racing, my palms were sweating, my brain was screaming at me, who do you think you are? What will people think? What if no one cares? And then I realized my body was reacting like I was about to walk into a boardroom and tell the CEO he was wrong. That's what visibility felt like to my nervous system, a career limiting move. And I wasn't in corporate anymore. The rules had changed. I just hadn't told my body yet. Here's the identity shift. Visibility isn't about being seen by everyone. It's about being findable by the right people. You're not performing, you're not showing off, you're sending up a signal flare so that the people who need exactly what you have can find you. When I reframed my visibility as service instead of self-promotion, everything changed. The resistance didn't disappear, and it stopped running the show. Now, when I feel that fear before I post, I recognize it as the old operating system just trying to protect me from danger that doesn't exist anymore. The third psychological obstacle is the safety of uncertainty. This one kept me stuck for 2 years, so listen carefully. You tell yourself you're waiting for clarity, the right niche, the perfect offer, the ideal client profile, and you genuinely believe that once you have that clarity, you'll take action. And here's what's actually happening. Uncertainty is protecting you from failure. As long as you haven't fully committed, as long as you're still figuring it out, you can't fail. You're still in the exploration phase. You're still testing. You're still learning. And the moment you commit, the moment you pick a direction and go all in, now you're accountable. Now it's real. Now it can fail. And your ego knows this. So it keeps you just uncertain enough to avoid the risk. It convinces you that you need just a little more clarity, just a little more time, just a little more information. Let me tell you what this looked like for me. I spent 2 full years researching my niche. I had spreadsheets, I had mind maps, I had done competitive analysis, market research, customer interviews. I told myself I was being strategic. thorough, smart. And you know what I hadn't done? I hadn't made a single offer. I hadn't asked anyone for money. I hadn't put myself in a position to be rejected. And then one day a friend asked me point blank, "What are you so afraid of?" And I realized I wasn't afraid of not knowing my niche. I was afraid of knowing my niche and still failing. As long as I was figuring it out, I had an excuse. The moment I committed, I'd have to face the possibility that I'd go all in and it still wouldn't work. That's what the real obstacle is. Not uncertainty, fear of definitive failure. Here's the identity shift. Your resistance is data, not a stop sign. Every time you feel that pull to wait, to research more, to think it through, again, that's not a sign you're not ready. That's a sign you're close to something real. Your resistance is proportional to the importance of the work. The bigger the resistance, the more important it is that you move anyway. Here's the truth. Clarity doesn't come from thinking, it comes from doing. You will never think your way into certainty. You will only act your way into it. I got more clarity in 3 months of posting content, having conversations, and making offers than I did in 2 years of research. Because clarity isn't something you find, it's something you build, one decision at a time. So let's come back to where we started. You're fighting the wrong battle. You think the battle is external, finding clients, building systems, mastering marketing. And the real battle is internal, choosing the identity of someone who's already worthy, already visible, already certain enough. Listen, I'm not saying the external obstacles aren't real. You do need to learn marketing. You do need systems. You do need to find clients. And none of that matters if you're still operating from an identity that says, "I'm not ready yet." Because here's what happens. You'll solve one external problem and immediately find another one. You'll get the website done, then you'll need the funnel. You'll build the funnel, then you'll need the email sequence. You'll write the emails, and then you'll need to master Instagram. It never ends. Because the external obstacles are just mirrors reflecting the internal one. The real battle is this. Will you choose to become the person who already believes they're enough? Not perfect, not fully formed, not without fear, just enough? Enough to help someone, enough to be visible, enough to commit. Because here's what I've learned after years of doing this work. The obstacles don't go away. You just get better at recognizing them for what they are. Old programming trying to keep you safe by keeping you small. And when you see them clearly, they lose their power. The competence trap. You see it for the delay tactic it is, and you help someone anyway. The visibility paradox. You feel the fear, recognize it as old wiring, and post anyways. The safety of uncertainty. You acknowledge the resistance as a compass pointing toward your most important work, and you commit anyway. You don't overcome obstacles by eliminating them. You overcome them by outgrowing the identity that believes they're real. So here's my challenge for you. And I want you to actually do this. Pick one obstacle you've been battling, just one. Now ask yourself, what identity is this obstacle protecting? Am I protecting the identity of the person who needs to be perfect? Am I protecting the identity of the person who stays safely invisible? Am I protecting the identity of the person who's still figuring it out. Name it, write it down, see it clearly. And then ask yourself, who would I be without this identity? That person, the one you just imagined, that's who's on the other side of the obstacle. Now, here's the important part. What's one action that person would take this week? Not a big action, not a perfect action, just one action. And that's your next move. If you've been consuming endless content, trying to figure out how to turn your expertise into a real business, you already know that obstacles are part of the journey, and they don't have to keep you stuck. The difference between people who break through and people who stay stuck isn't talent or timing, it's clarity and the right systems. That's exactly what this channel is built to give you: practical framework, mindset tools, and the strategic guidance designed specifically for professionals like you who are transitioning into coaching or consulting. Every video is designed to meet you where you are and move you closer to consistent clients, clear messaging, and the freedom-based business you're building. Subscribe now so you never miss a strategy that could be the breakthrough you've been looking for. You've already done the hard part by showing up. Let's make sure you have the roadmap to get where you're going. And listen, if today's video resonated with you, if you saw yourself in one of these obstacles, leave a comment. Let me know which one hit home. I read every single comment, and your insights help shape the content I create for this community. You're not fighting this battle alone. Let's do this together.